Hello everyone. I hope you enjoyed my previous video on the topic, should I go abroad for studies? Today I am going to address another burning issue in education abroad. But before that, if you have subscribed to my channel, please put your comments on the video. Because when I go through the comments, I get a feel of how you enjoyed my videos, what are your requirements, what are the new topics probably you would like me to address. But I would like to also tell you that I've got comments from many people, but then some of them have asked me about the topics which I need to address. Some of them I have addressed, some I have not addressed, because whenever I address a topic, my next topic is going to be a little related to the previous topic. So sometimes I may do the topics you wanted me to address at a later time, but be sure that I will address it. So please put your comments and share the video with your friends. Now let me come into the topic. Today I am going to present before you what is the right time to go abroad for studies. Is it after 12th grade plus 2 or after degree? This topic is very relevant in the Indian context, or rather in the Asian context, because what happens is most of the time we spoon feed our children in everything as they grow up. If a child has passed the 10th standard and wants to apply for 11th standard in another school, if they have to fill out an application form, most of the time the parents do that. Students don't do that. If they complete their 12th, if they have to apply for a degree program in a college in India, or if they want to go abroad, most of the time the parents do the application form. So parents, instead of helping them do things on their own, they do things for the children, which is the typical situation in most of the cases in India. So when we ask the question, should I go for studies abroad after 12th? This is a basic issue, because I have seen parents sometimes coming to me and asking me, my son should go abroad. Now tell me which country he should go, which course he should select. I put the question across to them and ask them, so what's your idea? They tell me, you just tell us which country to go or which course to select, we will go accordingly. I say, I won't do that. I'll give you a guidance. I'll give you information on that. I will assess the situation of your son. I will look at your family situations, and then I'll give my guidance to you. But then the ultimate decision you have to make. So again, this is the context we are in. So we should look at when we want to send our son or daughter abroad for studies. This is an issue which we need to look into. So the topic's relevance come in this context. So I would present before you some of the points from my own experience. Number one is, if your son or daughter is in the stage which I mentioned just now, then you should assess some of the situations, because have you built in a confidence for your son or daughter to do things on their own? Looking at what they have been doing, do you think that your son or daughter will be able to manage things on their own? So if they are not able to manage things on their own, if they don't have a confidence to manage situations, then you should assess the situation of your son or daughter and then decide whether my son should go. If he has no confidence, if you feel that he cannot do anything, then I would say don't send him after 12th. Wait until he does a degree. But then during the degree program of 3 or 4 years in India, again if you keep doing this, whatever the child has to do, the parent is going to do that for the child. Again after degree also, your son or daughter is going to be in the same situation. There is not going to be any difference in that. So you should make sure that if you postpone your study abroad for after the degree program, then make sure that you build in a capability for your son or daughter to do things on their own. But always remember, all of us, when we go abroad, we are going to a new country. Whether you go after 12th or after degree, it's going to be a new country. So all of us will feel initially like a fish out of water. But the advantage is, a student who has a little confidence, a student who can manage things of his own or her own, then the advantage is, even if initially they feel like a fish out of water, they will soon find the water and they will get into the water. So in the case of every student, this is a factor parents need to address. Number two is, if your son has a focus in the study, sometimes they don't know what to do. They come and if you ask them, okay, after 12th, which subject you want to study? They have no clear idea. Because the problem is, when you go abroad, you select a subject area or a stream area. Once you go there for studies and after maybe halfway through you understand that, okay, I cannot complete this course or I find it difficult to study, then you come out of the course. The problem is, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money. So first of all, make sure that your son or daughter has a focus on the subject area. Maybe the course names could be different in different countries, in different universities, but the focus on the subject area should be there. I have personally gone to Middle East in taking part in some of the education exhibitions, and I've met students, I've met parents. When I spoke with them, what I found is, in the Middle East context, most of the time what happens is, children, they go from home to the school by bus or by personal private car. From the school, they're back home. They go to the church, they go to the mosque, they go to the temple. But otherwise, they don't go on their own alone, maybe because of the specific context. And these students are not able to understand situations well. They are not able to judge people well. So I have advised some parents who wanted to send their children after 12th abroad. I told them, no, your son or your daughter should first go to India, spend a degree program in one of the institutions which you like. By the time they will assess situations, they will understand people, they will know how to judge situations, and then probably we can look at sending them abroad. So my point is, one is the confidence level, the situation of your son or daughter. Number two is, do they have a focus on the subject area they want to study? Number three, if they have a focus on the subject area they want to study and all the other things are better, I would say it's always better to go after the 12th standard, because the earlier you go into a foreign country, your possibility and probability of getting acclimatized to that situation is much faster. When you are younger, you get acclimatized faster, but when you are a little more older, then it takes a little more time. So if the son or daughter has a focus area, then let them go for those studies. Let them do that. Also, if they are going to be in a country where they have to learn another language, when we are young, it's little more easier. When we are older, little more difficult. So it's always better that they go earlier and they learn a new language. Even if they don't have to learn a new language, still it's always good if they have a focus, go after 12th. Another point is, if you go after 12th grade, if you're going to a country to do your diploma, be careful. Most of the time, students who go after 12th and do a diploma in a country, most of the time the desire for a student is, after the study, get into a job, earn some money for the expenses he or she has incurred. So they will get into a job, and probably that is going to be the end of their qualification. So if you choose a country where a student is going for diploma, we have to be very careful. We should have a plan to do a study further, but most of the time it doesn't happen. In such case, maybe later when your son or daughter wants to come back to India, their qualification is going to be 12th grade plus a diploma. Then you should choose a country where you have a degree program, so that further study is also possible. Further, the probability is that they will continue their studies. And another most important thing which all of us need to keep in mind is that finance. Wherever we go from India for studies, money is an important factor. See, we all choose a destination which is better than India. We want to get into a country, we want to go for studies to a country where maybe the economic situation is much better, maybe the education exposure is much better, maybe we want to have a wider vision. So when we go to such countries which are much better developed than India, the point is, the cost of living is going to be high, tuition fee is going to be high, the other expenses are going to be high. So do we have the money to fund those things? When we have enough money, probably this question may not come. But most of the students who go abroad, they always have a difficult financial situations. So when you go for a study after your 12th grade, If you are going to a country, especially when you go to Canada or US, the undergraduate degree is going to be 4 years. If you are going to Europe, it's going to be normally 3 years. So, when you have to pay fees, if your son or daughter goes for an undergraduate degree, you have to fund the studies for 4 years. Tuition fee has to be paid for 4 years, or tuition fee has to be paid for 3 years, plus the living expenses. In such cases, if you have financial difficulty, I would say, don't go for a degree program. Go for a master program, because a master program you can complete maximum in 2 years. Sometimes you can complete in 1.5 years. Sometimes you can do that in 1 year. So your tuition fee is going to be lesser. The cost of living is going to be lesser. So probably you will be able to manage it. But if you are going to a country where you have full scholarship, especially if you go to Germany, if you go to a public university, you don't have to pay fees. If you are going to another country, if you have a scholarship, full scholarship provided by the university, then be sure it's better that the person goes for an undergraduate degree, because initially they can get into the degree program, get acclimatized, also become much better settled in that country when you go to that country at an early age. So this is finance is an issue everyone needs to keep in mind. If you don't have a problem, anything is okay, whether after 12th grade or after degree. But if you have issue with finance, then after degree, because you can save on the money. If you have the scholarship, anytime it is okay. Another important thing is, if you are choosing a study area which is engineering, medicine or other healthcare areas, make sure that you go after 12th, because when you do your engineering in a foreign country, then it's easy for you to be part of a professional engineers there in that country. Whereas if you do your undergraduate degree in India and then go there, it's a long process for you. So when you are doing engineering, when you are doing medical studies, it's always better that you go after 12th to that country. One more thing what you need to keep in mind is that master degree always gives you a higher salary. If you go for an undergraduate study in a foreign country, after the studies you get stay back, you can stay there, you can get a job. But when you finish your masters, your salary is going to be high, because for undergraduate the minimum salary is 1. For a master's, the minimum salary, you get a salary in each country differently. So if you go after your master's, after your degree for a master degree program, you get a better salary. But if you go for a degree, make sure that at a later time you do your master degree, because your position is going to be much better in a foreign country. So, but then even though the master degree gives you a better salary, but if you have gone after degree from India for a master's in a foreign country, if you have gone after +2, you have done your degree and then the master's in that country. The person who went after +2 did the degree and the master's stands to be in a better position than the person who goes after the degree from this country. So consider all these factors when we want to make a decision. Always remember that when we go to a foreign country, students will have initial difficulties that everyone should be able to face. And also they should keep in mind that they should be able to judge people, they should be able to judge situations. They should not be carried away by their peers and friends, because peers and friends are going to be of the same age group. So if your son or daughter, some of the things they may be able to manage in a foreign country. Other things, if they find certain difficulties, your son or daughter should have a tendency to call up parents and ask them for guidance. Then probably you will be able to give guidance. You cannot go there and give them, assist them, but we will be able to give them guidance. If they just go by their peers and friends, then the problem is the peer group advice or the friends advice of the same age group may not be as wise as the parents or people from a higher age. So the students who go also should keep all these things in mind. I hope these points will help you to make a decision which is the right time to go abroad. Is it after 12th grade, after +2 or after degree? I hope this will help you. Hope you have enjoyed the video. I'll be giving more videos on education abroad topics. Until my next video, goodbye to all.